Hamilton's brutal response to Alonso. It seems like the 2007 season has left some permanent marks on both Alonso and Hamilton, as both of them aren't willing to let go of some things. Although they've taken some digs at each other in their careers, the latest development of events turned out to be one of the most interesting and direct digging between these two. But why aren't they able to bury their hatchets? And is there something more than just a rookie outperforming a two-time world champion? Before we go into Hamilton's brutal response to Alonso and their history as teammates, make sure to subscribe to our channel, like our video, and turn on the notifications. In order for you to understand where their beef comes from, you need to understand the history they had together. In 2007, Hamilton debuted with McLaren in the season when Alonso made a surprising transfer from Renault to McLaren. The primary expectations were that Alonso would outperform Hamilton due to the fact that he's a proven two-time world champion, while Hamilton was just a rookie at that time. But the outcome was different, and we've seen Hamilton be ahead of Alonso, although both of them finished with the same amount of points. This was the season where McLaren was excluded from the Constructors' Championship due to the espionage controversy, and everything brought to the outcome of Alonso exiting McLaren prematurely. However, the two-time world champion wasn't really happy with the fact that he finished behind Hamilton, although both of them had 4 wins in a season. The 2007 season was a really fierce one between these two drivers, and we know that because Alonso blocked Hamilton during the Hungarian qualifying session, remaining stationary in his pit box despite the lifting of the lollipop. This ensured that Hamilton wouldn't go out on the track and complete a final qualifying lap. From that point on, everything seemed to go wrong between these two drivers, and although they weren't teammates in the upcoming seasons, Alonso seemed to be a lot closer to winning the World Championship on 2 occasions, in 2010 and 2012. Hamilton's reign started from 2014 onwards, while Alonso's tenure at Ferrari from 2010 to 2014 wasn't really what was expected out of the Spaniard. Fast forward to 2022, and we're having duels yet again between these two guys. Although Hamilton is on more superior machinery compared to Alonso, the W13 has been troublesome at many events, and at one point it was fighting directly with Alpine. We clearly remember what happened in Spa this season, when Alonso tried to overtake Hamilton after exiting Eau Rouge and heading straight to Raidillon. At the end of Raidillon, Hamilton closed the door on Alonso and both of them crashed. This was the first DNF for the Briton, and Alonso said later on the radio that Hamilton knows how to drive only when he is ahead, and he doesn't have cars ahead of him. On top of that, Alonso called Hamilton an idiot, something for which he apologized later, and both of them had a personal talk where Alonso apologized to Hamilton in person. You would think that this ends the story, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. There have been retaliations yet again, and if you want to find out about the latest one, continue watching. Max Verstappen won his second championship in Suzuka, with Red Bull winning the first Constructors' Championship of 2013. According to Alonso, the 2 championships that Verstappen won are much more valuable and impactful than the 7 titles Hamilton has won. As he said, "I have a lot of respect for Lewis, but still it is different when you win 7 world titles when you only had to fight with your teammate. Then I think a championship has less value than when you have fewer titles, but have had to fight against other drivers with equal or even better material. In 2005 and 2006, I had a good start to the year myself and was able to create a lead. Then others might have had a better car, but I was able to manage that gap. I never had to fight with my teammate to win those titles, nor did I see Max fighting with Sergio or Albon to win races. But Schumacher in particular fought with his teammate to become champion 5 times in a row, and Hamilton fought with Rosberg and Bottas. That's different, I think." Well, we don't really think that Schumacher was fighting with Barrichello in 2003, as his main competitors back then were Raikkonen and Montoya. But nevertheless, Barrichello wasn't second in Schumacher's 2000 and 2001 championship-winning seasons, so it's not like he had to fight his teammate like Hamilton did from 2014 up until the 2021 season. Still, the comments have caused a massive stir on social media. Hamilton hasn't really held back, as he posted a cryptic message on Twitter, with him standing at P1 on the podium and Alonso finishing below him. This was just the first blow towards Alonso, as Hamilton was asked yet again about how he feels regarding the 2-time world champion's comments made towards him. On this, Hamilton said that he laughs sometimes, elaborating on his reaction. "I gave you my reaction. That's my thumbs up. I don't really have a lot to say about it. It does make me giggle a little bit, to be honest, but I've tried to be really respectful over the years. For example, when you've ever asked me about who has been the better driver for me, I've always tried to give praise. It's definitely interesting to see the comments that are made, but it really doesn't matter. So that's why I just kind of put the thumbs up. Besides Hamilton, Toto Wolff also spoke about the comments that Alonso made, saying that this situation isn't bothering Lewis a bit, and that the whole sport is about headlines. Saying, "It creates headlines, and this sport is about headlines. They're great champions. Alonso likes to throw one in. I don't think it's bothering Lewis a millimeter." Alonso then took his comments to Twitter as he tried to explain himself even better and say that they weren't disrespectful, as he feels that all titles are amazing and he was tired of the continuous search for headlines. Alonso also suggested that F1 fans should stop being pitted against each other on social media. Please, all the titles are amazing, well-deserved, and inspiring, incomparable to each other, and let's enjoy champions and legends of our current time. Tired of the continuous search for headlines. Let's enjoy them. So what can be done at this point between these two? It's obvious that old wounds don't heal easily, and we're seeing a perfect example of it. Alonso never misses a chance to take a jab towards Hamilton, and although that doesn't bore the 7-time world champion that much, it's not nice when you have a former teammate putting out that kind of information in the public. Although Alonso did make a valid point about fighting other drivers rather than your teammates, something that he also did in his championship-winning years. Hamilton did fight his teammate in 2016. Unfortunately for him, he lost that battle, but the fact that Mercedes was the most dominant team from 2014 onwards speaks enough for itself. The next time that Hamilton had to fight another driver who was not his teammate was in 2021, and he lost that battle. True, he lost it under murky circumstances, but that is not Verstappen's or Red Bull's fault. Verstappen has had an amazing season, and the fact that he's won more races than Hamilton and had more podium finishes just goes to show that the dominance was present from day one. Nevertheless, Hamilton hasn't been really respectful towards Verstappen, as he has never labeled him as one of the toughest competitors he had to fight against. He had some fierce battles with Vettel throughout the years, but none of them saw Hamilton and Vettel enter the last race of the season with an equal amount of points. Hamilton's goal is much greater than fighting Alonso on social media now, as we saw how their careers turned out to be. Both of them won championships, with Hamilton winning 7 and Alonso winning 2, and it's likely that Alonso would give everything to be in Hamilton's shoes, but the reality is what it is. With that being said, Hamilton is focused on winning his 8th record-breaking championship from 2023 onwards, a challenge that could turn out to be a truly massive one. Red Bull are now in a dominating era, and it's likely that they won't stop anytime soon. With Verstappen's talent and the car he has, rest assured that the rest of the grid will have a very difficult time battling the 2-time world champion, let alone winning a championship. What do you think about Alonso and Hamilton's battle? Do you think that Alonso's comments regarding Hamilton's championships are valid ones? Let us know in the comments below.